Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutty, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know I don't put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
We here.
Wrong intro, but we here. You know?
Trade show live.
We are back.
Hey, Adam. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Baby? Are you sleeping?
No. God, no. Are you kidding? What's
No
sleep?
sleeping.
We'll sleep when we die, you know?
You sleep when you die. We're here. Trade show. We finally got enough to do one. So, man.
They came in a barrage like late in the week, but we were at like 4 for the week.
Up?
I'm like, come on,
camp,
guys.
you know?
It's been forever since I've been able to get a deal done, for the record, but we're here.
I got one done.
I saw that. I saw you added to the panic out here. Actually, I like your trade, but we'll get to that. We got Fizzle here.
Patreon.com/South
Hey,
Harmon.
he says, why does ATM really look scared in this thumbnail? I'm scared. What are you guys doing with Jordan Addison? There's 3 trades this week, Mike. The first 4 trades, we had 3 Jordan Addison trades of those first 4.
I think somebody snapped that picture of you last year at the expo when I walked out of the detention room just wearing underwear.
That's possible. It
It
probably wasn't anything to do. It definitely wasn't taken when Rip was walking around in the hallways, for sure. It wasn't at that time.
No, that was disgust. the scared of was this.
Oh, man. That quarterback hoarding T-shirt has been burned, for the record. If you know, you know. But
Patreon.com/South Harmon. Come join the Patreon. It's starting to pop off here. Everybody's coming back. Plus, we got Maddie and Cody on board. So many good people in there asking questions, getting answers, shit posting, the whole works. But, Adam, we got a league to fill. We got a league.
Yeah, we do.
And we need the people's help. SouthHarmonFF.com/beat-South-Harmon. Yep, 4 more spots, Adam. Superflex Best Ball Tournament. So, Best Ball, no lineups, no waivers, nothing. We draft it just like an underdog on full-time fantasy, and you get to try to take down Adam and I after Week 14, moves on to tournament play. So $25,000 total in prizes there up for grabs in the playoffs. We're going to be there. We'll be in that, I think. I think we can do it.
Oh, we will be. And please don't forget to go check out where Mike gets all his amazing gear, where we get all our shit, signed shit.
Yeah.
That JSN jersey just is so sick right behind you, man. I like it kind of at least gets as much attention as the Iowa picture now, which is pretty cool for me. So make sure you're checking out.
I did it for you.
I know.
I did it for you.
I love that about you.
And my mother-in-law, who took like 2 years to frame that thing. Shout out moms.
Shout out moms. All right. Well, Mike, let's start it off.
Let's get popping.
Let's get popping. Now, we got to try to hide these trades real quick because I put them all in here just last second. So if you didn't see that, you did see that. All right.
There we go.
We got it. Mike, talk to us, man. You are selling George Pickens here. You're receiving
Sell him. 25
first and 25 second in shit auction 6. So, Mike, talk to us about this trade, man. First and a second, Pickens. First of all, I'll say just from the best ball lens, it's absolutely a process trade, right? You're getting a first and a second, liquidity versus a player. I kind of understand the George Pickens rise in value, right? But it's also like, for his range of outcomes probably at this point to continue to improve, he's going to have to go like Cortland Sutton did last year with 10 touchdowns, right? He's going to have to have something like that plus be the featured weapon in this offense. I'm not saying he still couldn't do that, but I think in the range of outcomes, a first and a second, you can probably trade those pieces for something better in best ball than Pickens anyway, I think is the reason you're making this trade.
Yeah, and my team's not a super contender. It's pretty young.
Okay, so you're kind of in a maybe not rebuild completely, but retool. Still building towards winning.
Yeah, I mean, J.J. McCarthy and Jaden Daniels are my starting quarterbacks.
Well,
Superflex best ball.
One of them will start week 1. One of them is a really big debate, which we're not going to get into too much here on when we'll be playing or starting. Remember I told you this, like, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago? It feels like the panic's even higher now. Like, he might not play the whole season.
Yeah, well, people are dumb, so.
Sure, of course.
The people are dumb. They buy back into this shitty vets that we've seen forever. Like, resurrection time. Yeah. You remember the Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett thing for a couple years ago? Same shit. But
sure do.
It's got Bijan, it's got Jahmyr Gibbs, I got CeeDee Lamb. But my quarterbacks are young. All the depth pieces are young. Really loaded up on this class. So a lot of youth. GP was one of those guys. But it's definitely not a contending team, I don't think. And this gives me 3 firsts now in 2025. On a class, the more and more I listen to Cody talk during the week, right? Watch his shorts.
Cody will do that to you know?
Yeah. The more and more, and then the more, like, it gets brought up with Fizzle, and the more I play NCAA football, which is like 70 hours deep now since it's been released. Thank you, PlayStation, for reminding me how big of a piece of shit I am.
Mike now has a third job. So it was the real job. It was South Harmon, and now we got the fucking game's back, man. The game is back, you know?
Dude, I'm punching in every time I get home. I'm on the clock.
Wouldn't it be pretty sweet if you were able to punch in and get like real credit for playing that game?
My God.
I mean, then we'd have a real problem as a country. But anyway.
But the more and more it happens, the more and more I'm starting to get a little bit more excited about 2025, even though the quarterbacks were kind of questionable on. But everybody else feels really, really good.
What I was going to do, just for the sake of this, right? I think this is one of those where the player in the process sometimes people want a little more, I don't know, examples or talking about points. So, Mike, I was just going to go with keep trade cut, and let's do a walkthrough in this scenario, right, in best ball. How high up the rankings that receiver George Pickens would have to be before we start discussing something different, right, to kind of give a little more context to this player versus the process discussion, because I figured that's exactly where we're going, right?
The full context of the pick, that first is projected to be later playoff team. It's one of the stronger teams.
So Andre is the giant, right?
Yeah, he doesn't got the best team, but he's got a pretty solid one. Now,
could be.
Shit could still happen because this is a startup that I believe was last year. Yes, one of the ones last year.
Yeah, it was.
This is only the second year in the league for everybody. So,
all right, Mike. So right now I know. Keep trade cut is not necessarily reflective of your ranking, so I'll start with some receivers in the range of Pickens that are lower. Zay Flowers, I think you probably have rated higher still than George Pickens, no?
Yeah.
Would you do this? Yeah. If this was Zay, would you have done this trade?
Well, it'd be a little bit tougher for me, but I think at the end of the day, yeah. Because having getting that third first just for the process of it means the kind of the world.
This is your third 25 first. Okay. That does make a difference in leveraging for sure. What about So now, like, here's the thing, right? So going higher up the rankings, a guy like DK for you on this team probably would have been the same type of a trade, or no?
Yeah.
Because of his age. Not that he's old, but that age for you in this type of a build different. What about them?
The bump just wouldn't come, yeah.
Exactly. How about Smitty?
Ooh, I say no. I probably would have held on to Smitty because I believe Smitty's value is going to go up once we get into season in that Keenan Allen-esque role in that offense.
Yeah. Now, Mike, I just want I'm going to give a couple more names in front here. Tank Dell is lower than Smitty. Would you have done it for Tank Dell here?
Tank Dell I would have sent away. And
How about
I'm kind
Pittman?
of buying into Tank Dell. Oh, man, Pittman, no. Couldn't do it for Pittman.
So, but just to give you names, I mean, Mike, there's DJ Moore. You would have made this trade, no?
Yeah, no question.
All right. So
sorry, DJ Moore stands.
That's how high Pickens is in keep trade cut for the record. Like it's George Pickens, DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, Smitty. So for the record, like there's really nowhere for him to continue to go up, unless people continue to click the wrong buttons on keep trade cut. That's it. You know.
I mean, if GP comes out as the number one wide receiver and maybe puts up 1,200 and 10,
he's gonna. I was just gonna say he's gonna have to finish as a top 15 receiver probably.
Yeah.
That's not saying he can't do it, but that's like everything breaks right for him this season is what's going to have to happen. So
yeah, give me the later first and the later second just to add to my package. If I'm not ready to roll, who cares a shit? I'll buy in another receiver at some other point if I need to.
Mike, It is Saturday morning, and Mike is always looking to add to his package. Let's go take a look. Speaking of packages and adding to them, let's take a look at this Teabaggers trade. 14-team Dynasty Teabaggers. What a good pivot, no? 14-team Superflex, lineup start 9. So everything we just talked about, kind of shift your minds here. Lineup start 9. It's a full point tight end premium, Mike, so we're at like 2 points per catch now. And it is a 14-team, so the scarcity factors exist. Jordan Addison, let's start getting to scary hours, man. We got Mike's trade out of the way. We did what we came to do. Let's start talking scary hours. Romeo Doubs are in 25 first here, Jordan Addison, in a lineup start 9.
Oh, my God. I made a huge mistake, Adam. I went to go look on the lab for Sky Chief because I was like, that's not a name. That's a patron of ours. Can't be in too many leagues.
Sky Chief is in what about I was about to say. I think I looked up. I was going to say 100. 300 leagues. Milk was a bad choice.
Never mind. All right, we're looking at action.
Broughton wants to ask a follow-up question. Ayuk, you would not have made that trade for Ayuk, right?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
I thought so. Anyway,
Ayuk's in that Smitty tier for me.
Same.
MPJ.
Okay. Let's well, you I know you got to figure out now how you pivot here. Action SJ's teams way less. What are your thoughts just about this trade in general? I will say for me real quick before I pivot to you is that lineup start 9 makes this conversation tougher, but where are you at here?
Neither one of them in the start 9, Dobbs or Addison, like really feel like anything really good.
They're not world beaters, right?
Not world beaters. I like the talent of Addison. I just don't know in a start 9 if I'd pay a first in general. You know what I mean? A first and just a depth piece like Dobbs.
I'm with you.
Unless that first is really like, dude, it's Bob's team and Bob never fucking loses.
Well, that's why I think this trade is such a interesting one because we got to figure out what the hell's going on with G Jackson 714 because that I think. Well, I'll just say once we figure that out, which Action SJ's in 21 leagues of his own. This is fun to find. Teabaggers, where are we at? Did you find it?
No, I didn't.
God damn it! What's going on here?
We have to demand more. Maybe we demand more from Blitz. Like you have to confirm this is a real league.
You know what though? You know what I've seen a lot is like they'll change the names of the teams or of the league, and then all of a sudden you can't find it. Let me see if I can find league mates. I'll just say, Mike, the process for me, even if that first is late, here's what I'll say about Dobbs. I'm starting to think Dobbs is he's like a lineup filler. He's not someone I'm excited about, but I think his opportunity is going to be someone like I could put him in my lineup in a flex spot. Ideally not in start 9, but somewhere in that range that it's not great, but I could do it. I don't think Addison's all like I don't think his production is going to return the value that his dynasty spot is at for this specific return where I get a first too. And I basically now can play around with this first and see what happens if it's going to be a good pick or not.
But it is a 14-teamer at least, so
for sure, depth matters.
I mean, there's a good chance that first, maybe falls in more of the traditional 12-team second round 201, 202.
It's called.
Right?
It's actually not Daddy. It's not Daddy's Dynasty now. I'm figuring this out. All right, we're getting there.
All right.
G Jackson's team is, as far as the redraft total goes, is pretty solid. The third best team on the lab.
Pretty decent.
Where are you at here?
I think I'm okay for it then. 14 team. I know it's start 9 lineup. I think I'd be willing to buy into Addison for this. A later first from a strong team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for Action SJ, I guess you could make the case that he's probably like a flex consideration.
Yeah.
More than likely. Like if I swap out, because he's got Cooper Kupp on the team instead of starting Jordan Addison and Rashid Rice currently in his lineup, it's Cooper Kupp and
Amari Cooper. He's got
Addison.
down on the bench too, so
Right,
he's got. I would be putting Cooper in there as well.
Addison goes more to the flex.
Yep.
There is 2 flex spots and 2 wide receiver spots, so it's not your traditional start 3 wide receivers, start 1 flex. So
right,
a little bit more flexibility. Love it, punny. Yeah, I think Addison for me. on this one.
It's close. I think the process trade is probably the Dobbs side, but I actually think that I would be making this pivot to Addison. I'll just say the thing with him, though, that's interesting. Like, I think my play, if I'm getting the Addison side, Mike, is that I want to try to flip when he's back on the field or whatever, back on the field.
When it goes back up.
Yeah, when the value comes back. The only problem I think that I'm having is that I don't know with Darnold and then how long it's going to take for McCarthy to get on the field. And I don't know that Addison was a guy that had a lot of these touchdowns with Jefferson out of the lineup. You may have a smaller window. Let me just say it that way. You may have a smaller window to capitalize on that big value bump, right? Like he probably still has a guy that's boom or bust, blow up weeks. But I think you have to try to time the trade now, right? Where can I pivot Addison, Mike, at the right time into even if I have to add to it, he's got, I think, 3 seconds. I looked on the lab. Can I add something to Addison to tier myself into a more solidified player, right? That's, I think, the pivot that I'm trying to make with this trade. And then I think you're really winning.
Then I think you are. It's not the strongest team for action, SJ, either, so I guess that process kind of comes into play, like why
he already doesn't have his own first.
Yeah, why are you sending away more draft capital? I think it's fair. Just with no real context on it, probably lean the Addison side. I don't know. It's just one of those trades that just makes you flaccid all the way around. Like the only buddy who worked out here is kind of similar to my first one in best ball. Is Sky Chief, because it's like, I'll just take another first.
Well, I was just going to say,
I'm dog shit. I'm going to rebuild. I'm going to take another first.
Is it any shock that the guy that's in 300 leagues is willing to just go to the fucking bottom and play process on this?
Shit. Yeah,
he's got 3 first, multiple seconds. I get it, man. I get it. I think I get this trade on both sides. I think action SJ. There's a little. I will just say this about the trade. While I understand making it and the process I would be looking to do in the future here, I think there's more to this trade that meets the eye that gives you negative. Like, there's more risk involved here. Let me just say that than meets the eye. Let's talk about Mr. Wonderful happened to get in on the Jordan Addison action. So we got Bomb Squad is the league name. We'll see if this actually checks out this time. Maybe it'll be a nice, fun deep dive again. 12-team Superflex best ball, start 11. So getting out of the lineup, start 9, into the best ball, start 11. 0.75 tight end premium, Mike. 2 names I know that you love on this trade. Daniel Jones and Jaden Daniels. No, not Daniel Jones, but Jaden Daniels, a 25 first, 25 second, and Addison. Those picks are coming from Johnny Corp, and it's essentially a Patrick Mahomes tear down here in best ball. You're getting off of dimes, which honestly in dimes and best ball I don't have any problem with. But I'm talking Daniels, Addison, first, second, or Mahomes and Danny Dimes. Which side are you thinking here? Is this enough to get off of Mahomes? I know you got a lot of love for Daniels.
Easily. I should have wore the Jay Daniels jersey, man. You should have given me a fucking heads up.
I'm sorry. Well, Mike, I will. While I apologize, there was like 7 trades that we had in there. Like, come on, you couldn't look.
I could have looked. Yeah, it's my fault. But yeah, but still, I gotta find a way to blame you somehow.
That's okay. You can listen. I'm living in a house full of my wife and 2 girls. You think I'm not gonna be used to being blamed for everything? I'm ready. I'm ready to wear it.
I live in a house full of my wife and 3 girls. So
that's true. You already know. Well,
I got one on you.
Well, now you're blaming me. He gives me no love here. All right, it's okay.
No, this is for me. This is easily the top side. I will tear down off Patrick Mahomes for Jaden Daniels in a first every day of the week. Don't fucking believe me? Try me. And then
Zam.
Addison or Daniel Jones in best ball. You could probably make a case, and this is my QB hoarder ass here. You can make a case that they're very, very similar, but the second is just easy money. I'll take it on top. I'll take Addison in the second over Daniel Jones.
I love this. Fizzle, this is hilarious. I'm starting to think this is Mike's burner account. He says he wants a picture of a newspaper and a can of ginger ale.
Easily, I want the top side. Sorry, all you Patrick Mahomes stands. You're not going to like to hear it.
Yeah.
But there's a reason I put out Jaden Daniels' video. And he could literally score just as much, if not more, than Patrick Mahomes.
Sure. Oh, well, I mean.
Rookie fucking year.
Sure.
Like, going forward. So.
Yeah, I think I'll say the one thing about this is I'm with you on the Daniels upside. I think, that being said, there's definitely, unfortunately, some downside. I mean, that's just the case for a lot of quarterbacks with the running style. But the thing is, if you tell me it's just Daniels in a first, like to your point, I think process-wise I could still make the trade. But I think the great part here for Mr. Wonderful is it's now to a point of excess enough to where I don't have to care. The downside risks that come with Daniels too, like they're baked in when you get I'm getting Addison and a second here too, right? Like if it was just Daniels in a first for Mahomes and you're telling me Dime somehow comes into the deal, I'm like, nah, fucking piss off. Go the fuck out of here. But
here's the thing, Adam. Let me tell you, just ahead of time, because the lab. Thank you for this.
Johnny Corp is bad.
No, not bad, but Mr. Wonderful, like,
really gaped them.
Burner.
Yeah.
No, just because Johnny Corp, like, now Daniel Jones is starting in this dude's super flex. That's how bad his quarterback.
This is called the quarterback horde working out, huh?
It never works. Why do you take these guys, Mike? You're advocating for shitty quarterbacks in best ball. Don't do it. You're an idiot. Never works out. Now he just poison pilled this motherfucker with the Daniel Jones in your super flex and took his first and second off of him. Go fuck yourself. I love it. That's savage or savage.
The crazy part is too that so I'm looking here. Mr. Wonderful is bottom dwelling, right? So like I want these picks anyway. I want these younger players anyway. And unfortunately for Johnny Corp, I mean Johnny Corp is one of these teams you're just right in the middle as far as dynasty value. But as far as the lab goes, so this is a best ball with a little more shallow benches, I'd say, for best ball, right? Here's the great part about the roster construction, Mike. Trey Lance, Winston, Tannehill, Kyle Trask, right? All those quarterbacks that ain't going to do nothing for you. Tannehill and Kyle Trask, I mean, come on, man. Even if they got a chance, ain't going to do nothing for you. Tyrone Tracy, Khalil Herbert, Elijah Mitchell, like, it's okay. But right now your bench is Roman Wilson, Nuke Hopkins. I actually like Roman Wilson, Nuke Hopkins, Wando Robinson, not terrible. No. Tight ends, Theo Johnson. It's just there is not enough depth here. This lineup is taking advantage, honestly, Mike. This is getting a newer best ball person into best ball and then completely gaping them so that they don't want to play anymore. When best ball gets ruined, Mr. Wonderful, you are going to be the culprit. All right? I'm putting that on you.
Broughton says Johnny Corpse.
Nice. That's fucked up, but it's actually very true. That's listen, man, when best ball gets this bad rap, Mike, Mr. Wonderful is going to be the reason. It ain't wonderful. You ruined it for this fucking person.
It's his fault.
Johnny Corpse is pretty spot on. All right, let's move on. Let's try to get what do you think about a 3-teamer here, huh? Did you expect a 3-teamer in the dead period?
Canton's coming up soon, so
I'm
all for three ways.
Can I get like the jeez. Can we, speaking of that, the three best friends, can we get the hangover? We're back, baby. We are back.
We're so back.
Dude, we get a 3-team trade, buddy, a menage a trois, right? In the middle of the dead period. It's no longer the dead period. Not just a 3-team trade, too. Look at some of the names in here. So, Jay Fishback is getting Justin Jefferson and Tank Dell. I don't know what you sent away. It does say on there, but, like, to get those two players in general. Like, look at the thievery going on here. 102, a 25-second, Josh Downs and Josh Palmer.
Jesus Christ.
Like, 10-team, 12-team, 14-team. Lineup, best ball. None of that shit matters there.
None.
That's just a... Jay Fishback raped 2 people in this trade, I'm pretty sure. Jay Fishback killed a guy.
You might want to hide.
Saquon Barkley, Josh Downs, 25 seconds are being received from Mr. Truster. Oh, you should not be trusting people. We got Singletary, Jefferson, and a 206 he sent away. How do you do this?
What?
How do you send the 206? So you sent away possibly the 2 best assets in the deal. Well, not the second, but Jefferson and a 206. Jefferson way over Barkley. 206 over a 25-second in this class. 206 arguably is in the same range as Downs. I mean, I don't know. This is insane.
What is this?
And then Burrow gets he sends away Barkley and Tank Dell. At least you go from Barkley and Tank Dell to the 102, right? So you get the 102, the 206, Palmer and Singletary. Mr. Trustworthy needs to not be as trustworthy. In a 10-team league especially, Mike, like these higher value players are – you can't – how do you get Justin Jefferson and Tank Dell on a 10-team, bro, for this?
Just the 102.
That's not even Marv.
That's neighbors. This is disgusting, man. You see these 3-way deals, and usually, Adam, somebody has to come
Yeah.
Somebody gets fucked ridiculously hard, and then somebody's kind of like, okay, you did all right. Like, you're fine.
One
That's
person
usually how this
Burrow.
is exactly how it is. Somebody made out like a bandit, somebody got fucked ridiculously hard, and then the bottom guy is like, all right, I upgraded from Barkley and takedown to the 102 and some shit.
Burrow 1's probably like, all right. I mean, if Truster's going to take this, sure, I'll take my side of the deal. Not a problem, right?
Brian's on it today.
Yeah.
Brian said there's always one dude that gets stuck in both ends.
That's true, unfortunately. And yeah. All right. I think I've seen enough of that trade.
This is disgusting, man.
That was horrible. That's horrible. Jay Fishback, listen, part of the trade show, you are entitled to put your flexes on there, but come on, show some discretion. It's a family show, Mike.
So
right?
how mad are you if you're one of the other 7 managers in that 10-team league and you see that shit go down and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Maybe because it's a 10-team, no one's mad at all. They're just like, oh, sure, normal trade. I don't know. That's horrible. That is terrible.
We just bucketed all the 10-team like players into one like paint chip eating. Hey,
you know how we were talking in the early part of the show.
Normal.
12-team league with Tank Dell, right? Where we were like, yeah, Tank Dell's probably someone for first. You go to 10-team. Now, I don't play in that, but if I was in a 10-team, like Tank Dell's one of these guys I'm a lot more bullish on actually selling off of in that type of format.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you got Tank Dell and Justin Jefferson. Like Justin Jefferson's the 101, 102 in that format for me. Like, what do we?
Yeah.
I hate it.
CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson.
Right. I still want the elite quarterbacks, but it's all about receivers in 10-team. So
Yeah.
let's go to Castle Black. Let's see if Castle Black can save the show. Probably
Get
not.
back on the rail.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Devin Singletary, Chris Olave, Mike. Or Jordan Addison, Trey Benson, and a third. 12-team Superflex lineup, start 10. No tight end premium. Fantasy Holics, 2. Where are you at on this one? This one's interesting because I think Olave definitely has more. Right now with the panic, definitely has more name cachet than Addison does, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even before that, he did, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
I love Benson, but like I'm with you. I want Castle Blackside here.
I think I want Castle Blackside. I do love Benson, but that's more long-term projection. James Conner's going to be the dude until he's hurt, which could happen. I mean, you and I both really like Trey Benson. It feels like if you're betting on this on Trey Benson right now, like you're betting that by week 6 or 7, Trey Benson is taking over and is the man in the offense. And, his 2025 is going to smash out of the park. And, there's going to be like a Breece Hall-esque type rise from him, which I'm not saying is impossible.
Yeah.
I just don't really feel like now in July of his rookie year, I want to go ahead and just put my cards on the table and make that bet. Chris Olave feels like it's an asset I want to tear down off of and I want to get rid of, but it feels like a very, very safe asset. Like,
for sure.
He's going to put up 1,200 yards and be Chris Olave. Now, he'll probably disappoint you because everybody really wants him to take that next step and be that elite thing, which is why I want to tear down off of because I don't think the odds of that are very good, but there's not a lot of risk there. The risk is on the other side. You're betting on the running back, and then you're betting on a guy right now that is in the dynasty value shitter because of DUIs and poor fucking performance and poor choices in life. So
right. Well, I mean, I think the thing about this too is, see, in this format, lineup start 10. I feel like the crazy part about it is somehow you're losing the pick. Now it's a third, so it is what it is. But I feel like you just got really flexible. Acquiring Olave here from the standpoint of, like, I think he has the name cachet where actually in this type of format, I'd also be interested in tearing up for the right price, right? So if I could tear up from Chris Olave into more of that, truly elite type players, Mike, can I get to A.J. Brown? Can I get to someone like that with a Chris Olave? I think you definitely can. I mean, maybe you have to add something to the deal, but you can also tear down too. I think you can go both ways with it.
Castle Black's the strongest team in the league.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Now. He just got Chris Olave on his team. He's still got really good depth top to bottom, and he's got 2 first-round picks. So you're talking about tearing up. Chris Olave and 2 first, that gets you CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase if you want.
Yeah, people are interested in.
It's not they don't smash them, but you know what I mean. You're in the ballpark now to talk to those managers. Like they don't look at you and go, "Oh, you're an idiot." There's no way I'm trading this.
Right. I'm not saying that you guaranteed in a lineup start 10 can get up to the elite 3, but like you start throwing around two first and a pick with Olave can get to the conversation. They'll have a convo with you about it. Yeah, I think this is pretty easily Chris Olave. So I don't know. Maybe it's not that scary hours trading away Jordan Addison anymore. Like I was getting prepared to be really scared here. This is very palatable if I'm moving off of Addison, frankly, especially format dependent. Even here's the thing. Even if it was best ball, is Benson when he peaks? We don't know what that is going to be timeline wise or what that looks like points per game. Is he really going to be leaps and bounds ahead of Singletary? Like it could happen, but I also could see a world where Singletary this year production wise ain't that different.
Yeah, we got to call him Motor Singletary, just like they do in New York. For whatever fucking reason.
I have not been a Singletary guy for the longest, Mike, but he kind of checks boxes in best ball, you know, like, and he's got, unless Tyrone Tracy's really going to be the thing, he's probably going to get a lot of work in fucking.
Really good. He's going to be the thing, Adam. Come on, stay with me. It's hype season.
I'm trying. I'm starting to lose a little bit.
Iowa pride.
Bob the Rebuilder, Mike. I know you got to love Bob the Rebuilder. 12 team, start 10, lineup start. Actually didn't have the start. Wait, no. Start 10 lineup. I apologize. And then it's a half point sign premium. We got Little Peter, or Big Peter, making a trade here. Jalen Pulk or Hollywood Brown, Mike. Straight up. Let's go player analysis on this, right? This is a player for player trade. 1-for-1, wide receivers. Are you in or out-ish on the Hollywood Brown Kansas City thing? See, that's the noise that I always kind of imagine you get when someone asks about Hollywood in general. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
Are you? Okay.
At least for this year. Between both these guys, I like Jalen Polk a lot. Like, it was one of my favorites coming out. And he kind of got a bad rap, and then the NFL and the Patriots said, fuck y'all.
We're taking him early. Second round, baby.
High.
Yeah.
He's going to have ridiculous amounts of opportunity. I think Drake May's a good quarterback. I know everybody wants to see Jacoby Brissett and yada, yada, yada. And fucking, it's a fun story. We love these shitty perennial backup quarterbacks forever, but Drake May's the future of this fucking franchise. And he's going to play sooner than later. I like Polk a lot, but I think at least with the hype train, like if I'm just thinking about flippability and start 10 lineup at him, neither one of these guys I'm penciling into my fucking lineup, but in a start 10 for the upcoming season, the first time Hollywood Brown catches 2 fucking long touchdown bombs from Patrick Mahomes, like people would be right back to being, holy fucking shit.
Sure. Told
you he was a huge value. So I think I'd rather have Hollywood Brown, to be completely honest, because I could trade him for actually something meaningful in 2024.
Okay. See, I guess this is where like for me, I think with Xavier Worthy there, Hollywood Brown, and if especially if Rashid Rice doesn't end up getting suspended, Mike, and Kelsey, I think there's definitely the case where he has 2 massive touchdowns or he has a blow up week. I also, without a suspension to Rashid Rice, I don't know that that's guaranteed to come / in 1 week, if that's what happens. While that's awesome, is someone actually willing to pay up for Hollywood at that point? They could be. I probably have to find that buyer. What I'm curious about with Polk, I feel like with Polk, there's a wider range of outcomes. Meaning, there's probably a chance this year that Polk really doesn't give you many blow up games at all. Maybe he doesn't have a blow up game period this year. But I do think with Polk, because of the youth, and just look at guys that are younger, like rookies last year. Let me give you. Rashid Rice obviously did it on a bigger sample size, really started to ascend in value. Jaden Reed had, on low volume, a lot of massive games. If Jalen Polk has stretches together 2 games in a row where he's inside of the top 20 receivers, which isn't asking a ton, that's a guy that actually gets like a really big value bump too. So I feel like this trade is kind of like you're getting into Hollywood Brown, who doesn't probably have quite the ceiling to reach as far as dynasty value goes, but in his own right in this offense from production could end up being far more meaningful than Polk. But Polk, if he doesn't play well, also can go to the floor. I feel like there's a bigger range of outcomes for Polk where he could end up being slow starter and someone that loses a lot of value this year, or with 2, 3, 4 games at some point in the season could end up being valued like in the top 50. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. Like top 50 overall assets in fucking Dynasty because he's young. So I think the like lotto ticket still lies on the Pulk side, but it's heady, honestly, if you thought that you could pencil Hollywood into your lineup to just go ahead and get him and see if you could trade him later.
Even with Worthy and Rice, like those guys being in town, I get what you're saying too, but last year, Sky Moore, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Justin Watson, like those guys, between the three of those shitbirds all had 4 like blow-up weeks between them all. You know, like, so there's opportunity even for Hollywood, and I think Hollywood's leaps and bounds better than those guys, easily.
For sure.
I get it. There's some competition there, but I'm not going to put it off that, man, early in the season, Hollywood might have 1 or 2 of these games where it's because unlike Xavier Worthy, he's been facing NFL talent at his size.
Oh no!
So there's no adjustment for him. Worthy's going to have a little bit of adjustment when people start to get physical with him and press him off the line.
I'm not saying it can't happen for Hollywood. I'm just saying I feel like there's a chance where it does not guarantee to happen. It absolutely. He could end up having 2 or 3 blow up games for sure.
Yeah, I don't. For me, I'd probably just take Hollywood right now because I feel like I could buy Jalen Polk back maybe like week 6 plus.
That's fair. Trying to see here where Bob the Rebuilder, man. Where are like I don't see any of these leagues. And I need to start checking these. I'll admit I pulled the trades this time because Blitz had something going on, and I'm like, where is this fucking league? Because I want to see is there any merit to like is Peter in this team? It says Bob the Rebuilder. Like if you're rebuilding, right? I definitely understand pivoting out of the Hollywood to Polk right now, but I think the play simply is Jalen Polk has a wider range of outcomes to get dynasty value and lose it. Hollywood Brown is probably more cemented, but to your point, in production this year, this is the best situation he's had to produce, and I don't think that's really debatable. So if there was a time to see if you could cash in on a trade later, it would be now.
I get you. They're only in one league together, Battle Royale.
You found it? Okay, Battle Royale. What do we got?
Neither one of these teams are really. Peter's really shitty.
Is he?
Really, really shitty. Really, really shitty, and so is.
So I mean, it makes sense.
MM Carr's really not too bad. Number 2 in the league redraft total. So
okay, can I? You know what's interesting about this though? All right, this is a good point to talk about for me. Now, here's my question. Okay, you're this great team. Lineup start 10. Now we talk about depth. I think sometimes it gets kind of misconstrued a little bit. In best ball, it's hard to have enough depth. I've seen it done, but it's hard to do. Lineup, like, I'm looking at his team right now. You want to have another piece for sure, but you got Jefferson, you got Nico, you now have Hollywood, Romeo Dobbs. You probably did actually need depth. That's actually pretty impressive. So I don't mind it here. I just wouldn't have liked this trade as much if you're telling me like it's this wide receiver 6 or 7, and you basically just excess depth for no reason there. So I don't mind this trade actually.
Yeah, Hollywood kind of slide in as his wide receiver
4. Yeah, wide receiver 4. So that's not bad. What I was going to say is if it's to the point of acquiring Hollywood for over depth, like you have too much depth now in this lineup, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. But it makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
His quarterback room is dog shit, though. Like, good luck with that one, buddy.
Yeah, he's got Justin Fields or Daniel. You got Daniel Jones until Justin Fields takes over. This is fucking gross. No, but I mean his team's really good. I'm not really super strong on this trade either way. I think it definitely makes sense, Peter, to make this trade. But I'll just say Jalen Polk. I think as much as I like the talent and like his situation, he's probably not a long-term bet. When he does play well enough to where there's some value rise, I think is probably a safe. He's a player I'd be looking to try to get off of at that point. Like I like the talent. I'm not betting on him being a long-term fantasy producer personally, though. Right? Like that's I think the thing to think about with him.
I mean, even if he establishes himself this year, right? He has a good rookie year, 800 yards somewhere in there.
Here he is, okay. Debro, trade Addison away. Debro, we're finding this out today, man. A couple of the trades that we don't mind them, honestly.
All caps, yeah. You're not panic selling apparently.
No, Chris Olave's out there. Jeez.
Chris Olave's out there. But even if Polk has a pretty solid rookie year, you got to imagine with with Drake May and that new regime that they're bringing in a fucking alpha next year, like a number one.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether it's through the draft, whether it's through free agency, there's going to be some names out there with all these wide receivers getting fucking paid ridiculous amounts. Teams just can't afford them anymore. So there's a lot of dudes out there. It's going to be nuts.
Mike, if you were in a rebuild, like Peter's the worst team in the league, would you trade Hollywood away for Pulk?
Maybe. It's one of those flaccid trades though. Like,
I'm with you.
Where's the fucking process on it? Like, give me a third or something, too.
Yeah, the process. I think the process is now you have to flip Pulk on a peak. Both these guys, you're trying to probably trade when they have a bump in value during the season, but you're just getting. Like I'm not overly in on either side, frankly. No. Let's talk about this trade here. Big Corey, Mike. America's Game Auction League. So it's 12-team Superflex Best Ball Start 12. I love this 2-2-2. 2 tight ends, 2 tight end premium, and 0.2 points per carry. So with that being said, definitely a little bit of a bump for both the running back and for the tight end position. Pearsall in a second or ETN here?
I'm going the process. If I'm Matty Gomes, I want Pearsall in the second. I'm not the biggest ETN fan. I mean, some of the metrics on him are just fucking ass, terrible. And he was a volume king, but like the Dynasty community values him as like this RB1 locked in, fuck y'all. And really, he's fucking Najee Harris. And I like Najee, but Jesus Christ. Like, I like Najee because he costs RB20 some prices, not RB7. So, fuck it. I know it's point per carry. The warp is going to favor it, but Jesus, long-term play. Just give me Pearsall in the second and the best ball.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pull up before I make my final decision here. I'm gonna pull up the warp on this just to see. I'm with you. Everything you said about ETN. I'm not. I have ETN. I'm lower in my ranks on ETN than consensus. I actually have him below Pacheco, Mike. I'm higher on Pacheco than most.
Wow,
but
I like that.
I have him in the top 10 still. So it's like in a 0.2 points per carry. If the warp was crazy enough, I could get it. I also think that Pearsall, at least right now, he is one of the most ridiculously hard to judge assets in Dynasty right now, because if somehow, some way the Niners, let's just say, were going to go into cap hell, they were going to further their cap hell and they got a deal done with Ayuk, I'm like, what the hell do we do with Pearsall now? However, if they move Debo, if Debo gets hurt, if Ayuk gets moved, anything happens there, it's like, okay, now Pearsall becomes wildly more interesting. And it's like a Joker card, honestly, I feel like. The warp is not as insane on running back as you would think, Mike. It's a little bit ahead of receiver. And receivers look really good because I figured in best ball, the 24th to the 36th receiver, we're talking all over 0.8 warp. So
the rookie draft too, Adam, I'm in this league, is not rookie picks. So that's not just a 25-second. It's an auction rookie draft, meaning whatever that pick lands has an auction dollar value assigned to it that goes into his total budget, right? So hypothetically, right, let's just say Corey won the league and was the 212, that pick. That's 170 rookie auction dollars. The 101 overall pick's getting $400. Right? So you just add it to your Trevor Trost. So for example,
I like that.
Matty Gomes here, he's got a lot of seconds and thirds and fourths, like he's been loading up on it. So you could take fucking seconds.
You could get over the 101. You can get over the 101 in dollar amount.
Yeah.
That's actually, I've never actually been in a league. I've seen them a few different ways. I like that. The way that that's structured for an auction draft in the rookie drafts. I've seen a bunch of auction startups that turn into snake drafts, right? But I like that for the auction.
For a good example, if he had the 209 and 210, that'd be $390 in auction budget. The 101's worth $500 or $400.
What? You tell me the 209 and the 210 is worth $390?
Yep. Together.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, Eric and I had this idea.
That is sickening. That is so much value in second round picks, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the 201 worth? What's the 201 worth? If you had the 201 and the 202, what would that be?
280 and 270. So 450.
So you're over the 101.
550. Yep.
This is the Pierce on the second side.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Okay. That's kind of criminal, to be honest with you. That's especially in a best ball, which already favors depth. Yep. That is crazy to the picks.
Looking at it now and talking about these trades, yeah, we got to adjust that, Eric.
Yeah, brother. Well, I mean, I don't know that you can after people are acquiring picks now.
Not after you had, but we'll
a future discussion. Yeah,
the future leagues. Yes, yeah, that needs to be adjusted for sure. Because essentially, if you had 5 4th-round picks,
brother, I literally would go get seconds, thirds, and just I would hoard the entire rookie draft based on having late picks. That's wild.
Yeah, the whole fucking thing.
Okay. Yeah. See, context is key, and context is king. Because
context is king.
Wow. I don't like UTN here anymore. All right, Mike. Sleeping Cody. The expo's coming up. I'll be honest with you. He put in a wave of these trades from NFL, and I'm like, why do you do this to me? Because I have to make they're so bad, I don't even feel like I can put them on here without making a graphic, because it's just like, I'm not putting this dog shit. Like, it's like confusing to read if you haven't seen it often, right?
It hurts your brain.
Yeah. And so I ended up having to DM him, like, give me the settings. Now, it is the Royal Rumble, which we've both played in before. So it's a 14-team, 2-copy, best ball start 11. It's our boy Cody, who's always sleeping in the expo. And we got our boy Brandon, man. So let's talk about this trade. I don't think there's a ton to discuss, frankly. But this is Breece Hall and Adam Troutman for Jonathan Taylor and 25 first. In a best ball start 11 league, Mike, with the scoring, this is a league that favors the running back scoring, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I'm willing to tear down from Breece to Jonathan Taylor still, frankly.
You and I were in this league at one time until we got kicked out.
Right, exactly. That's why I feel like it'd be a good one to discuss back, right?
Until we got fucking booted from it.
Yeah, we got voted. And here we are. We'll still from afar tell you what we think, you know?
Yeah, from afar, from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Oh, remember us? No, 25 first and Jonathan Taylor. I love Breece Hall to death, but with the scoring settings on this, you got all the point per carry bonuses and all that shit that's in there too. Give me the running back down a tier or two, and give me the first.
Yeah.
And, I like how you fucking put in You actually made a graphic for, like, the shittiest part that no one gives a fuck about in this deal.
Troutman?
Like, who the fuck cares?
Like, I was like, listen, I had to put it in, so I'm like, I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm going to find the grossest picture of Troutman that I can.
Wearing the Guardian cap.
Dude, how good is that?
Jersey, yeah.
No pads. That fucking Guardian cap, it looks insane.
Whatsoever. Just a fucking wrist tape,
Like, you're literally wearing on your fucking Guardian tag the name tag. I love that. So, yeah.
Yeah. No.
I'll be honest, like, Troutman's droppable, I think, in this format even. There's only 25 roster spots.
Yes. Yes, he is.
So,
yes, he is.
This anyway, though, is basically, it's a tear down to Taylor. I get it, though. Like, I understand being really bullish on Breece. In best ball, though, I just can't because of the first, you know?
I gotta give Cody some shit, too, on this one, too. Because he spent all fucking offseason whining and crying on his social media about sleeper fucking changed Troutman from the Browns to the Broncos. How dare you. Cody, nobody gives a fuck about Adam Troutman. Adam Troutman's mom doesn't even fuck care about Adam Troutman, okay? Damn. No one gave a shit. Of all the battles to pick with sleeper, you picked the shittiest one. Fuck you. Give me college fantasy football.
When this inevitably gets clipped and put on X, Adam Troutman mom, we have no problem with you, for the record, okay? We love you.
I love Adam Troutman's mom. I'm just saying she probably doesn't even like her son. She's like, he's irrelevant. I dropped him in my fantasy league. There's no fucking point.
He's not a relative. He's irrelevant. We got a new patron. Mike. New patron trade. DLC13. I believe, actually, Koopa and I did a team review for a DLC. So, appreciate you hopping on.
Content.
Appreciate you being on the trade show. Patreon.com/South Harmon if you want to get involved in these type of trades. So, Mike, I will say this. He had the context was he had multiple picks in the 24 class. I think he had like 6 firsts. So he was trying to trade out of some of the rookie picks to just get into more secure points and assets. That being said, is this too much? A.J. Brown on 25 second from Kevin K's team, or the 104, the 25 third, and 201?
Yes. Entirely too much.
I think the 201 part for me was what really sways it. Like, if you tell me you want to get off of a guy like that 104 is probably a Neighbors, right? If you want to trade Neighbors for A.J. Brown, I can kind of get behind it, honestly. I really can. The 201, now that's a different conversation. But at the same time, like I've seen plenty of people that still draft Neighbors ahead of Daniels in a rookie draft or in startups. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what happens still. But my point is more so this. Like, if you're telling me right now you wanted to trade the 104 for A.J. Brown, I don't actually hate that. But the 201 part is definitely where I struck. I can't do the 201 for the 25-second. That's if you want to argue the 104 and A.J. Brown is a swap where in season A.J. Brown's value is going to bump back, I get it 100%. I cannot do it with the 201 to 25-second. That's my problem, frankly, in this trade.
I will never trade the 104 for A.J. Brown, and that's my biggest problem for it. And
okay.
The rest is irrelevant.
The 201 to 25 seconds are relevant?
No, I'm saying the rest of the deal,
well,
like how I look at it when I grade it, right? You fucked up on the A.J. Brown for the 104 thing, so you just compounded with the 201 and the third for a random 25-second.
Mike, if drafts go the way that they're typically going to go, which is going to be Caleb, Jaden, and Marv are gone, it's now Neighbors and A.J. Brown. I got no problem making that trade. None. It depends on the format and the way I play. The way I play, I wouldn't do that. But if you want to trade that into A.J. Brown, because there's a chance in season, Mike, if Neighbors, while there's a lot of hype, Hard Knocks, all this stuff, if he's not doing much on the field, you're probably not going to be able to pivot in season to A.J. Brown. So I get it. But that part, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of, but I understand that for sure. I've seen it done plenty, and it actually can work out better for the producer who's right. A.J. Brown's 20. He's 26, man. Dude is fucking.
I get it.
There is way too much panic on A.J. Brown. So that's not a. I'll just say this. Period. That's not a terrible move. It is not a terrible move at all. But the 201 to 25-second, that is not a move that makes sense. When the 201 in this class, that 201, Mike, is a bigger deal because those players are first-round pick talents in most classes. And you want to talk about, forget Jaden Daniels of the one. 201 could be Michael Penix for a 25 random second. And then there's still a third we didn't even brought in. The A.J. Brown part is not the biggest killer of the deal for me. It's the 201 to the 25-second. 201 is not a random second anymore. It's just not.
It is for me because of this, Adam. What you said, and you said it, A.J. Brown for Malik Neighbors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you put if, and I put a bunch of asterisks around it. If drafts went the way
if drafts
they have
went
been,
based on ADP, yeah.
If they went that way, the problem is, for me, Adam, there's a 10% chance they don't go that way.
Sure.
There's a 10% chance that's Jaden Daniels. There's a 10% chance that's Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison, or a tenth of a percent.
If there's a 10% chance,
a tenth of a percent.
If there's a 10% chance, it's Jaden Daniels and it's not anything else. All right, you love Jaden Daniels, but it's a 10% chance for one player that's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is now, if it goes exactly like you have on ADP, and that is Malik Neighbors, I'm with you. If it was Malik Neighbors,
yeah,
that's a fair trade.
Right.
That's a fair boom. You're good. And then your thing comes into play. What I'm saying is I'm willing to risk it 1-for-1 any day of the week that 10% chance comes through, because it's not like he was trading this on the clock, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like, okay, I traded this, or after we were already into the rookie draft, the 104 was Malik Neighbors. You don't fucking know. We don't know. It happens all the time, man. I've seen Jaden Daniels go at the 105 because people are dumb and they just let him slip. So I'm willing to risk it almost every single time, because the downside, if I'm wrong, it's like, oh, okay, well, I probably would have preferred A.J. Brown to Malik Neighbors. I'm with you on that point, but it's close enough for me to look for the upside. And then when you talk about the 201 and the third, Jesus, I mean, I'm 1,000% with you on that one. That's just stupid.
Yeah, well,
it's just stupid.
I think, though, while I get your points, while I say as a person that has done these massive leverages on quite a bit, not saying you haven't, but I'm willing to be actually in that scenario where I don't want to get stuck with all the rookies at the same time. Like, I get it from the standpoint of there's a 10% chance it's Jaden Daniels. For the record, it's a 10% chance it's Jaden Daniels, Mike. I've actually yet to be in a draft where Jaden Daniels goes at the 104. However, I know for a fact there's no drafts where Caleb's going at 104 or Marv's going at 104. Now, Jaden Daniels there would make this conversation very different. If that's Jaden Daniels versus A.J. Brown, I'm 100% with you. Even rookies or not, I want the Jaden Daniels side. But what I don't want to end up having to do probably is get stuck with the only the rookies, and now your team looks great on paper, but if you can't pivot it into – I think the reality is this trade probably doesn't necessarily bake that in because I'm guessing that person understands there's a good chance it's Neighbors. However, to your point, in process, you'd rather that just say Malik Neighbors than 104. I get your point. I just don't think that while that is a piece of it, I just think the 201 to 25-second and third is a problem. It's way too much. I can't give you that edge, too. I can't give you that edge.
I love Adeko. In the Dynasty Data Lab, his ADP stuff.
Let's do it.
I'll promote good shit till I fucking blue in the face. Even though we got our own, I love our own. Adeko's is just like, that guy is just so fucking good at what he does, making ADP. The pick probability of Caleb Williams being there at the 104 is 1%. So it has happened. You're saying there's a chance.
I'll tell you right now, you could throw that shit out the window because they weren't real money drafts. They were fucked up bullshit. There's no case. Stop it. Stop putting it in the air that it's even a possible thing. No one ever in real drafts. Okay, go ahead.
Stop it. But I got to include my Jaden Daniels thing then.
Okay.
42% of the time Jaden Daniels is available at the 104.
That's probably more true. I would say 10% is probably more reflective, but at the same time, Mike, you have to know who you're drafting with. I know in our leagues, what's the ADP? Well, you and I have drafted.
Jaden Daniels 101.
Point is, Jaden Daniels is never at the 104. You know in your league those type of possibilities. Jaden Daniels, if there's a chance that Jaden Daniels a real one, that makes this trade a different conversation. If that's I would say 95% chance of a Malik Neighbors, Mike, then all right, I get the pivot. But, Mike, all that being said, I'm not saying there's not an edge to knowing that it could be Jaden Daniels or not. The 201 in this class, go use Dynasty Data Lab to tell me the players available at the 201. Since we're going to do this. This will be real fun. You know what's going to be fun? These are going to be really fucking fun.
Oh, I'm just looking at who's available at the
Give me these, 90% chance for insane players.
Well, I'll start off with a good one. There's a 3% chance Drake May is available there.
Mike would have a conniption.
There's a 1% chance it's J.J. McCarthy. 11% now. Down to 11. This is so weird because of when we drafted earlier.
Right.
Those early ones. Jonathan Brooks now. Only 11% he's available.
Even still.
The 201.
Even still.
Xavier Worthy, 17%. Brian Thomas, 38%.
Brian Thomas.
Lad McConkey, 39%. Bo Nix, 54%.
Keep going.
Trey Benson, 77%. Keon Coleman, 68%. Michael Penix Jr., 90%, Adam.
Okay, but here's can I tell you what the great part about that is, and the point I'm trying to make with this 201? All those players you just mentioned, Mike, have gone in the first round of drafts.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Every single one.
You're going to get one of them at the 201 here.
Yeah.
You're getting literally a first-round player at the 201.
Yes.
In most drafts, all those players have gone in the first round at some point.
Hey, there's a 1% chance Brock Bowers is available at the 201.
Good night. Now, it's no tight end premium, so just pass. But anyway.
Fuck. If you got Brock Bowers at a
I'm just playing. I'm actually
201, would you? Okay.
I would take it because of the diabolical. I'm going to find a way to trade him later, even though I know the no tight end premium. But yeah, I'm with you.
I wasn't going to leave the show on that fucking.
This has been
Adam.
This has been an awesome finish to the trade show. We've probably been on this trade for far too long. Because the point is, either way, you gave up too much. Whichever way you want to cut it here, you definitely gave up too much. I'm for locking in some more secure assets if you have a pick horde going on, because you want to make sure you get the production, but not to this point. This is actually kind of undoing a lot of the. This is undoing some of all the stuff you work for. This is kind of getting rid of too much of it, right? To make the production happen. I'm for it to a point.
Kevin made his team really good off of this trade.
I mean, well, because now you got
the draft has happened. So there's some dudes
there we
on the
go.
roster.
Hold on. Now we can have the 0% chance that it was Jaden Daniels at least, right?
Yeah, it was no Jaden Daniels. Sorry.
What'd I tell you? Why do you fuck around? Find out. There was a 0% chance it was Jaden Daniels. I love this.
Unless somebody took Brock Bowers, he still took
You hear this, Bronton? 0% of the time, it works out when you go against me. That's what happens.
So it is neighbors.
Thank you.
But
I'm glad we had that discussion now, by the way.
Yeah. Kevin ended up with Malik Neighbors, Roman Dunze, Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman, Drake May, and Bo Nix.
Sheesh.
So those are his first-round worthy players. So
he got all those first-round picks? Man.
He got all of them. And then I see there's a Jalen Pulk on the roster. So that was probably somewhere in the second somewhere.
Do we give me the players again? I'm curious if he ended up drafting at 201. We could probably pencil it in.
If I just had to guess, I probably took Neighbors at 4. He might have had the 106 too.
Love you, Jake.
That would probably be like a Dunze or Drake May, one of those two in there. Xavier Worthy later first. My guess is Keon Coleman or Bo Nix was the 201 for him.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? Now, to the point that you were just making about Daniels, we don't actually know. Is it possible to know? I don't think we can. We don't have the tools for that, right?
No, I wish we did.
But, I mean, if you had late firsts, early seconds, like, it could literally have been, it's probably more so to the point of you're saying Bo Nix or Keon, but you never know. I mean, some of these drafts I've seen Keon go ahead of Worthy. I don't know. I think in our drafts I've seen Bo Nix go ahead of Worthy. Typically that doesn't happen though, right?
Our drafts, yeah.
Yeah. But most times not. So either way, give me any three of those players versus that 25-second process or not. I'm just going to find a way to trade them instead of the second. So that's kind of crazy, to be honest.
We spent a long time just fucking burying DLC.
DLC, thank you for joining the Patreon. We appreciate you being here today. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say other than listen. This trade is not going to kill your team, but I just think if you did this too often, you're going to end up losing too much value on your team. Personally, that's just where I'm at. No thanks. But what's his team shaped up to be now? I'm kind of curious now. Like DLCs, because you gave Kevin's right. Kevin, by the way, not a patron. I feel like we just gave you 20 minutes of fame.
Caleb Williams and Kyler Murray as his quarterbacks. Doesn't have a third.
Okay. I mean, you can get away with it in lineup, but it's not.
He's got like 19 on his roster. None of them starters, but.
Okay, I don't actually mind that. That's kind of like the entire bench, it sounds like, though.
Yeah, like Tyrod, Jimmy G, Mason Rudolph, Trubisky, Bagent, Malik Willis. You could drop him. Definitely Bailey Zappi, Skylar Thompson, Andy Dalton, Davis Mills.
At least got the roster construction going, but it's a lot. You can cut some of those players.
Bijan Kendre Miller is his next best running back, I guess. Ray Davis, Jaleel McLaughlin.
Need a better running back, too, probably.
Yeah, like.
It's all right.
No.
What about receivers? Got A.J. Brown.
Marv. Puka.
Okay.
A.J. Brown.
Okay.
Brock Bowers.
He ended up getting Brock after all that, too? That's amazing.
Yeah. Brandon Ayuk. Kyle Pitts.
Team's nice. You don't need Pitts and Bowers and tight end premium. I think is this the roster we reviewed too? It sounds like it might be.
Xavier Legette and Chris Godwin on the bench are the only players of note.
How many leagues is he in?
10.
Okay. This might not have been the league that we reviewed. It sounds similar though, but that team's really good. I mean, I don't think you won that trade, but your team's in a pretty good position. I think you make a few trades.
325 first and 2 seconds.
This kind of sounds like his team. This definitely sounds like the team we reviewed. I think you're in a good spot with this trade. I wouldn't have made that trade in particular, but you're in a good spot with this team, I should say. Sorry.
You got to get rid of one of these tight ends for sure.
Yeah, that's what we said. Bowers and Pitts, actually, it's almost positive. I'm almost positive this team we reviewed. We were like, if you could trade both of them even, I would do that.
Yeah, he's going to need RB2 help. He's going to need some more. It doesn't have to be a good guy, but just get some solid dudes.
I just did a video talking about Chuba Hubbard's probably a good you can get guys like that just to fill your running back too until you have to make a move, but you're in a good spot.
With AJ Brown, those receiving core is nasty. Disgustingly.
You overpaid, but I think your team's in the right position. I think you just got to make some trades now. He did a review with us.
He inherently fucked up by taking Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels. Like, this team would be so much better. Probably the championship.
It's going to be Damn. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm really excited for the season because regardless of what happens, it's going to be fun. But Mike is going to be – he's not going to be sufferable regardless of whether it goes that way or not. It's going to be pretty fun to watch. We got a couple questions. We don't normally do this on this Rachel, but Mike, we might as well answer a couple questions before we did, right?
Fuck it.
Jonathan, appreciate you being here today. Hi. Dynasty question, tight end premium. I received McCarthy, Goddard for Bowers and a 26 first. I have Rome, Garrett, and Jettas. Mike, where are you at here? Would you take McCarthy and Goddard over Bowers and a 26 first?
McCarthy over Bowers. 26 first, probably over Goddard.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, for my roster construction, I'm taking J.J. McCarthy and Dallas Goddard, though.
I think this is one of those trades where the value lies in the Bowers and first side, but it kind of see the problem with that Bowers and first side is it probably relies on me timing and moving Bowers appropriately for me to really like actualize that into my team.
Yep.
I'm okay. I'm okay taking the McCarthy and Goddard side here. He's now has Lamar, Rome, Garrett, and Jettas.
And he
Plus you add
J.J.
McCarthy
with
I love
J.J.
that.
Jettas. Shout out to Koopa and all his podcasts and Grinding the Edge talking about stacks.
I like this.
Important.
I think I actually I'm okay making this trade. I think I don't love trading away my future flexibility, but I can also recoup that later on. So I'm on board. Sign me the fuck up, baby.
You got 2 years to do it.
You do.
Just be strategic.
Love this. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Okay, Penix or a mid-26 first. I feel like they're
Penix.
pretty similar at like asset types, but where are you at, Mike? What would you take here?
Penix.
I'm with you.
Michael Penix.
I'm
Big
with you.
Penix energy.
I'm with you. I'm so bullish on Penix now at this point. It's just it's part of the brand now. Penix is fucking a part of the brand now, you know?
I think we're driving this train. Like you and I.
Dude, I'll never forget. Shout out to DB if you're here. He's almost always watching our live shows. He might be working today. We had a call after the draft, Barry and I. Hours, man. I'm talking to this man, trying to convince him. And I'm like, you know what? I think during the draft with Mike, like, I'm ready to do a whole fucking breakdown on this guy. Like, I'm ready to tell the world that you are way too low on Penix. So, shout out to DB. Shout out to our draft stream. Shout out to Nick losing his mind when they drafted him at pick 8. That was fucking amazing. I literally saw him lose his fucking mind.
It was a horrible draft decision.
Dude, the draft before that, the draft before that was so straight-laced and normal, and then it went off the fucking rails at that Penix pick. Everything went bananas. Bo Nix at the 112, everything changed. There wasn't the defensive player not to the 15th or something? Maybe even later?
No, I don't even remember now.
The defense didn't come off the board till really late.
Oh my god, I don't even fucking remember now. Feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? And we haven't even hit the season.
Who was it? Dallas Turner? No.
15th overall, Latu to Indianapolis. Yep.
Damn.
Think about that.
Lineman, quarterbacks.
14 straight offensive linemen and skill players. That's crazy, isn't it?
It's fucking great. It's great. No, that draft, bad pick, good player. How about that?
True. All right, trade away Jordan Addison, but buy Rashid Rice. Make it make sense. Rashid Rice's situation is worse.
I don't know if it's worse.
I mean, his coming up suspension, I think probably has a chance to be longer, but I don't know. It's not like massively different as far as what their suspensions could be. I have seen. I also. When you read stuff, I take some of it with a grain of salt. I've seen some people saying that like he'll eventually get maybe an 8-game suspension. I don't really know if that's coming. I haven't seen a player get 8 games for what he's been. I think what's really gone on for him off the field.
Alvin Kamara put a dude in the hospital on camera, beat the living fuck out of him, and what was it? 3 games. Stop with the 8 games. You guys are just being fucking.
Now, at the same point though. Silence, I'm glad that you spoke up because we need to talk about this. I don't know. I don't think it's massively worse for Jordan Addison.
I wouldn't say massively worse, but there was alcohol involved, which the NFL does
not like.
They do not like. There's substance abuse problems.
They also don't like. They were also trying to find out. I think they were really trying to find out if there was some substance abuse for that whole collision with Rashid Rice. Yeah, but it didn't sound to be like there was.
Nope.
All right, where you guys at on Aiden O'Connell? We'll get out of here after this question, Mike.
Good.
Seller hold. It sounds like he might get the first shot, but I'm not sure it even matters from any war perspective. I mean,
what are you selling for? Like there's a reason I was in on Aiden O'Connell's because he's cheap as fuck and he's gonna get the first shot and he's probably gonna beat out Minshew and be the starting quarterback for the Raiders for the majority of the year. So until that value reflects it, you're getting what?
That's what I was gonna say though. What? Here's the thing.
What are you selling for?
Let's just say that today it came out that Aiden O'Connell's gonna be the starter for week 1.
Yep.
At that point, what are you selling for? Like realistically, what can you actually get in a trade, and would it be worth your while?
I mean, right now he's 35th on keep trade cut. 35th, man.
I feel like that's already a little bit of a bump for him potentially starting.
He might be climbing up. I don't know.
Right.
He's right around Russ, Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, Sam Darnold. Like, if I could flip Aiden O'Connell to somebody for Russ or Carr or Rodgers or Smith.
Any of them, sure. Yeah, with you.
Yeah, like, that makes sense. But if I'm selling for fucking Spencer Rattler.
Would you take, let me ask you this. Would you take a future second or Aiden O'Connell?
Depends on how good it is for.
I think if Aiden O'Connell, if it's not best ball, let me just, I need to preface. This is a two-part question. If it's best ball, I don't know that I'm taking a second just because I can probably let him be on my roster.
That would be a no, yes.
Lineup, I think I would take a second-round pick.
If I was already set at quarterback.
Right, and that's true, too. As long as I didn't need him to be my third quarterback option.
If I was set at quarterback, saying that if I had two really, really good starters and maybe have in that lineup league all those backup types, like those
there you
stringers.
Go. You're just going to string along. I'm with you there.
Like,
I would do it
like
too.
some Darnolds and shit, Jacoby Brissett, Drew Locks. Like those kind of dudes. If I had a bunch of those dudes, I'm like, fuck it, I'll just roll with two. And I'll see if I can't hit one of these backup quarterbacks, roster construction-wise.
Yeah, I'm with you.
If I was in a lineup league and my second quarterback was Matt Stafford, I'm not fucking selling my Aiden O'Connell for a second.
I'm with you. Now, here's the crazy part. All that being said, I don't even know that right now you can sell him for a second.
No.
So that kind of, I think, makes the point for us. Anyway, if you want to be a part of the trade show, make sure you're checking us out here on patreon.com/South Harmon. $1 a month gets you in the door. $5 a month, though, gets you access to more tools and access to the completed trades portion of the channel in the Discord. Go check it out, man. It's always a blast on the Discord. And also, Mike, we have coming up very shortly. We are right around the fucking corner, buddy. The Fantasy Football Expo is about to be here. We might have to do, you know what we got to do at the shit school? Last year we did it here on the casting couch. That's one of the things I'm going to miss about this year. You not actually coming over here because I have a newborn at the house. You being on the casting couch, but we'll figure it out.
We'll find a couch.
We'll make it happen. But yeah, we got to get a live trade show for the people, or at least done at the shit school. We'll make that happen for you guys.
We can make that happen.
As long as you're providing the trades, we can make that happen, buddy.
This is the last week of work for me. Like that's what I keep telling myself
setting in
here.
Oh man,
right? Like I listen. I make it through this week of work, and then it's expo time.
You know what I just realized? I think I 40 chess played myself. I don't have that same thing. I don't. Fuck. It's actually kind of a cool little feeling you got there.
I got a countdown going. I fly out Monday. Next Monday.
Pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing you, buddy. Seeing you in person. I get a lot of FaceTime with you,
Monday night, my friend. Monday night, I will be there. All
right, Bronton.
Hopefully rolling up in like a Cadillac or...
I hope you roll up in a Bugatti and just fucking...
That'd be great, too.
I woke up in a new Bugatti.
Put Corey in the trunk. Woke up in a new Bugatti. All right.
We love y'all. We'll see you back here. Same time, same place next week for the trade show. We are out of this thing. Expo's coming up. Peace.